And I'm sure at the stage where we are, as DP, as traditional and cultural institutions, as faith-based organizations, as the civil society, as the media, as the business community, as the political elites of this country, we all desire to have a leadership at this moment in time that can stand the test of time, that can roar and also pounce where need be. Because of my background, I think the comrades who chose this acronym may not be far from being right. But the Democratic Party in particular now requires not the weak leaders of the past, some of whom have been, requires not people who are gambling. It requires somebody with experience, exposed locally and internationally, who has been in the trenches and also who has worked with the communities, who has seen it all, who is able to mingle and mix and engage the young and old, the women and men, who is also able to go the full length of saying where democracy and democratic values are challenged, he can decide to sacrifice his life or to put his life on the line because of the next generation. Ladies and gentlemen, as I start my address, mind the acronym. Samuel Walter Mukaaku the lion. Because when you have the lion, you need no weapons. Deeply determined and concerned about the perilous direction in which the party is currently heading. Aware that the wider DP fraternity and membership are equally perturbed and concerned about the rate at which Comrade Mao's administration is losing direction, throwing out our cherished values, principles and traditions, i.e. truth and justice, equality before the law, equity, pacifism, respect of rights and superior ideas, rule of law and constitutionalism, Mugwanya, Benedicto Chiwanuka, Dino Bonyo, Chibuka, Gaspoda, Boniface Byanyima, Beni Kalikwan, Isiko, Chemonges, Kabeireho, Nyakatula, Sente Zakajobi, and so many others, including those who are clergy. We know that the masheikhs of Uganda, except for Sheikh Kamlegea and Ginyiri, the rest, Mbogo, Takuba, Makubai, the rest of the country, all the sheikhs were DPs. They moved around this country, planting the seeds of democracy and fighting for the just treatment of every citizen. Even the late Archbishop Joseph Kibwanuka was very much part of this. It is only today that you find members of the clergy fearing to engage in politics, yet it is politics that can doom this country. Recognizing that DP still remains the party with the largest brain power potential, that would be smart enough to produce or to provide answers for self-reinvention and regeneration. Were it not for the incumbent administration, I mean President Mao, Mbide Siranda, and fellow accomplices, who have instead knowingly or unknowingly impeded this party by choosing to serve parochial interest or massage those of the ruling NRM by simply collaborating or being willing to sell their conscience for the monetary gains. Determined to stop Comrade Mao's unashamed choice to deny the party an opportunity to genuinely unite, reconcile, and tap the greatest potential of its privileged status and location in the political terrain of Uganda and its human and financial resources, breaking promise after promise, pledge after pledge, agreement after agreement, so as to maintain his administration Museveni style, even after 10 years of failed leadership, including helping the regime stay the course last. Further determined to put an end to the maladministration traits of the current Democratic Party leadership and the sinister agenda to subtly massage the regime's hold on to power in exchange of fulfillment of selfish interests of the few at the party helm at the cost of thwarting internal democracy, stifling the morale and the spontaneous spirit regenerated through the DPUID reunions and people power to re-energize the party, strangling the DP rebranding process that was aimed to help the party regain its name, its power, and its sway. I, Samuel Walter Mukaaku, the freedom fighter that you know, wish to make this official declaration that I will run against Norbert Mao, the current president, regain and help the party regain its name and ensure that the party is put in order. First of all, the first agenda is to install a credible, transparent, and accountable leadership. Number two, rid DP from state capture, which you can all palpably feel and see. And make sure that I restore it to the old glory, to its old glory, with the help of the bid anchor team, which I will unveil later behind me, but of course led by able men like Comrade Aloysius Katabazi, and quickly transform this party into a new DP, through the rigorous process of rebranding. And also, I want to help refocus DP to its primary mission of capturing power for its long oppressed, denied, and suffering wider membership and the majorities in the countryside, and make effective and trusted engagements with the other progressive forces of change to together execute the liberation and transition government agendas successfully. Ladies and gentlemen, indeed, this presidential bid is an intervention against Mao's astonishing covert sinister agenda to extend his and Museveni's overstay in power via a sham process of leadership renewal, and to sanitize their misrule through the usual post-election reconciliation bluffs and fake cries to unite the party and reconcile it, as it has happened since the Mbale Delegates Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, such efforts by our very own to maintain and sanitize the regime are very disappointing, a very disappointing phenomenon to the suffering multitudes across the country, and a blot to DP's image and brand, and must not be allowed to thrive under our watch. That's why I'm coming out to lead this great party. A leadership that listens to the wider party membership, various stakeholders, and the competing opinions and tendencies. As you know these days, except the abuses paraded and thrown to many members of the party, many groups, like Male, what is the other one? Mome, and all those stupid things. The members are no longer being respected. This party deserves a president that may restrain himself from that and respect all without discrimination. This party requires a president that respects the opinion, the divergent opinions of all the party members. This party requires a president that will be tolerant to everyone, because this is called the Democratic Party. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last 2 years, DP bloc under the newly injected energies and innovative leadership of Honorable Michael Mabike, Dr. Bade, the fraternity of the UID alumni, and I gave hitherto this a moribund and divided DP a new face and a renewed hope. One, by creating a strong and apparently serious ideological and electoral party bloc, aimed and cemented by the Memorandum of Understanding that embedded transition arrangement for the total integration and assimilation of the hitherto existing party factions and the breakaway of separate entities. Ladies and gentlemen, in my document, you'll find over 15 objectives which the DP bloc set out to achieve. And we have achieved them. And we are on course to take this party to power. One of those achievements was to start a people power movement together with Comrade Kyagulanyi. As you hear now, Comrade Norbert Mao and a few others, a handful of people, want to strangle our child, the child that we gave birth to. This can never happen. This can never happen under our watch. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to provide a visionary and steadfast leadership that can quickly generate a new consensus in order to cure the present impasses which manifest in the selfish and sinister plans of the quartet, that is Comrade Norbert Mao, Mbide Siranda, and Mayambala, at the helm of the party. Number 4, I want to enable the party rediscover its historical buoyant image and indomitable posture, integrity, and a brand that everyone admires. In this regard, my administration pledges to a new consensus in the party that will enable it deliver a visionary, steadfast, and mature leadership with guaranteed capabilities and capacity to generate agreement on a middle ground position. We are tired of these squabbles. We had made ourselves the living examples by saying we can unite through the reunions. In those elections where we went, even where we didn't have our own candidates, but to show everyone that we can work together despite our differences in opinion. We had made ourselves great when we covered the entire country through what we called conferences and reunions, and everyone knows this. The party had started attracting multitudes of people, including Bakaluba, Chameleon, and many others, in thousands. We cannot wait to see this being strangled by the selfish interests of the handful at the top of the party. And this election, this leadership renewal, is going to give me the chance to make sure that every member of the Democratic Party, every member of the DP fraternity is given an opportunity to serve in the best interest of the party and the country. An inclusion of all major tendencies in the new consensus, mainstream DP, the DP bloc, the Subi group, the parliamentary group, the UID, strong and sustainable structures and organs of the party, capable of wresting power from the ruling NRM junta in the current real-time political pressures and imperatives. Ladies and gentlemen, we also need to rid the party of electoral transparency to rid the party of electoral transparency and accountability elements that have bedeviled the Mao administration. That's why my administration will waste no time to constitutionally institute an independent electoral commission for the party, a national fundraising committee, an internal audit commission, and a standing branch and structure inspection committee to expeditiously deal with those ailments. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to reconstruct a strong financial base for the party via widening the parliamentary caucus from the current 15 to at least about 70 to 100. And this is achievable this time around. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to have at least 40 to 50 district local councils, which are typically and fully DP, and probably share others with the other political forces, as the country may wish. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we need at least a quarter of the country's lower local councils, win back our foreign and international benefactors, which we used to have, and allies, and reorganize our diaspora chapters to work, mobilize the resources, and execute diplomatic foreign relations and on behalf of the party. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. Whatever I've said under this is like something, what do you call it? It is space science. This is not space science. This is achievable. We now have very strong diaspora chapters. Has the Mao administration tapped them? No. The people are there, they want to contribute to the party. They're not given the opportunity. We have, for example, the members of parliament. Even the members of parliament who are 15, in the caucus of 15, instead of this, making them squabble, picking them, people who cannot even give them leadership, consolidate that group. That group alone gives us 750 million every year. Every year. Over 750 million. 50 million is going on every head of a member of parliament. Today, we cannot even print a sheet of paper for a register of a village. He's from Kamwenge. Apart from Sula promising to deliver what the members have contributed, the administration has no means to reach Kamwenge. This will never be heard of under my administration. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the simple things that we need to do. When I brought and the midwife Chagulanyi, Mwiru, the president of Jema, Asmani Basalirwa, and my friend from the north, Arua, Kasiano Wadri, we didn't have money. I know that in DP alone, wasted 47 million on a candidate that only garnered 12 votes, 27 votes. This would never have happened under my watch. We went, made research, we said we know the candidate that can win. And we make friendship and we win back West Nile again. Yes. The administration could not partake of this. Was it too difficult to comprehend? Do we require professors to understand this? No. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure when we usher in a new administration, a new team, not just the individual, but a new team of people from parliament, from elsewhere and everywhere, the young generation, we shall be able to achieve this. Number 7, we want to empower the party regional, sub-regional branch, sub-branch organs, where actual mobilization is by decentralizing power and sharing the party funds in a proposed 60 to 40%. Because we get these funds. It is the members in Masaka, it is the members in Bukoma Simbi who fight to bring members of parliament. When we get this money, we never even think about giving a little bit of this to those party structures for them to devolve. You will look at my agenda in detail, but it is important also to recruit a wider volunteer staff and also well-paid or ambiently paid people who will manage these offices in the various places. Number 8, end the tribal undertones that the Mao administration has failed to divorce itself from. Every time you go to the east, you tell them how the Baganda are taking your party. You go to the north, you tell them how the Baganda and the Easterners are taking your party. You go to the west, you tell them how the Baganda and the Easterners are taking your party. These tribal undertones must stop. And I think this is the administration to calmly and confidently put this to rest. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to open our party by open up our party by separating the position of party president with that of the presidential candidate. We know that not long ago, as we moved through the reunions, we were all promising that we shall have one presidential candidate. A party that has developed such a policy, the one-to-one model and the rest, you cannot just repeat because of your selfish interests within no time. I am here as a guarantor of that. I am here as a guarantor of that. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to redirect this party from the war path of the people power movement that the Mao leadership has positioned it on. We want to have a strong alliance with people power, not to make people power our enemy. Bobby Wine and the people power people have got our DNA. We share in the genealogy of values and principles with Bobby Wine and the rest. They could be young people, they could be from the ghetto, but they're part of us. DP is a mass party. These have been our children. Bobby Wine himself is a son of Sentam and a grandson of Walakira. These are strong DPs. How do we divorce ourselves from people power? That will never happen under my presidency. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to promote the candidature of Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu for the post of the President of Uganda, while ensuring that the Democratic Party, DP bloc, remain the principal promoters and anchor of the Grand People's Coalition or movement, election agenda, power sharing dynamics, and the government, or transition government to come. We need to promote the Honorable Mabike UID alumni one-to-one electoral model that gives the DP bloc and likewise other sister party blocks alliances a comparative advantage and leadership in determining the eventual candidates primaries under the people power arrangement. While reducing the confusion, parties and independent candidates symbols. We want to consolidate and further nurture to fruition and an irresistible and overwhelming people's protracted coalition. Lastly, the diaspora chapters and the international community to depose Museveni's dictatorship and take DP and people power to power come 2021. You know, as we sat in Jinja, in that historical conference, which started the reunions, we said we want to make our institutions work again, and the Democratic Party is going to lead. But also we said, if we want to take power, we must do certain things different from what we have been doing. Ladies and gentlemen, we also decided that it's our duty to mobilize the security forces and to mobilize the international community in several ways, and also ensure that we create a robust people power ground force that will overwhelm the regime. With the people power, we have done our job, and we continue to consolidate this. But also with the international community, we have not been lying back. You know what Paul did in the House of Commons. You know what our friends in Kenya have done. Those in South Africa, those who were the Chamisas who were supposed to come here in Zimbabwe, and those in Rwanda. Of course, you know now Kagame is behaving very, very smartly with this regime. And of course, we would want even Southern Sudan to do the same. No, Sudan itself has fallen, and we are sure we shall pull that one on our side. Once we have the evidence of what we call the DR reforms, the evidence of the members of parliament, and the councillors in the districts, once we have the commanders, abasobola okusalako, then Trump, Merkel, Uhuru, Kagame will have no reason not to support our coalition. And I want to be in charge of the Democratic Party to ensure that this happens, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that our security forces have started a lot of work within the barracks and elsewhere. I thank the forces that have done it, but for security reasons, I'm not going to expound. I think we don't want a Mnangagwa situation, but I think we can work together to ensure that once them and we take power, and we win the vote, we shall also take power. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by saying I'm here and ready to ensure that we create a democratic party that is strong, united, vibrant, and attractive to the electorate of Uganda and to the publics within here and outside. I'm also saying, I want to conclude by saying, the Samuel Lubega Mukaaku presidency will ensure that we build DP as a great party again. Ladies and gentlemen, let the lion roar. Because with the lion, you do not need weapons. Thank you very much.
I think we'll be brief. Thank you. Uganda version, going to be brief, and then we'll go for
the questions.